Hello everyone, welcome back to Veloci Dudes. I'm Cole, this is Nicholas, and today we're going to be talking about the best looking cars of all time, in our opinion.
Not our time. Our time's pretty young.
But pretty short. So, in our opinion. So, yeah, you want to start with one car that you think is one of the best looking cars of all time?
Well, I have my greatest looking car of all time. But, I mean, there's so many categories of cars, and you could pick a car in the best looking car in a category. And there are lots to think about. And I'm going to pick one that I think looks really good. This is not one of the best looking cars, but it's one of my favorite looking cars. Not Porsche 911 GT2, especially the Evolution version. Those things are worth like $1 million now. But essentially 1990s 911 race car.
Bolt-on fender flares?
You've seen those before, yeah. Bolt-on flares. It looks like a Liberty Walk 911. I mean, I love the styling of it. I think the headlights look great. I think it's got massive weight. It looks RWB, even though like RWB when it keeps like that stock from the factory. You can get the road going GT2, which also looks really cool, but the Evo race version is even cooler. How do you feel about that car?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very awesome looking car.
Mm-hmm. I like those things.
Yeah. So.
What about you for a car?
Yeah, one car that I think is the best looking car. Now, a lot of people out there are going to disagree with this. One of my very favorite looking cars out there is the Dodge Challenger. No, I don't think too many people are going to disagree with that.
I'm not going to disagree.
But particularly the Demon and the Hellcat, the wide body ones. They just really clean and just really full on look. You look at them you look at them front on, and you can see these just the four circular headlights and that big grill is just kind of rectangular, and you have massive intake on top.
Yeah, I personally am one of the big fans of muscle cars. I love muscle cars. In styling terms, my favorite muscle car might be the Shelby GT500, the modern one. That thing looks really awesome. The Challenger probably actually might be my favorite in terms of styling. I think it looks really good because it's got that. It's true. It does have a simple design. It's still a classic muscle car. It still looks the part when I think the Mustang Camaro are trying to be a little more sports car. Can I compete with cars like
911 and such.
Like a Porsche Cayman maybe.
Yeah, maybe not 911, but
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, like cars like the Demon. Someone might buy one or a 911. They're probably in similar price range.
Yeah, not really one for looks exactly. They're not like if you're gonna. I think the average person want a car. Oh yeah, this is a cool looking car. You go for 911 over Challenger. Yeah, you want to just go for any other car you think is one of the best looking ones ever?
Well, I personally am. I think a lot of hypercars look good, and there's so many I can think of that are probably in my head, like 5. But we might go over all of them in this video. But first off, I just want to say the Apollo IE.
Oh yeah.
Because it's funny because we were just saying before the video that there's this kind of there are these categories you're judging them by. What were they again?
Well, we have the category of technology or tech, I guess you would call it, which is basically how much they engineer the car for just looks. For example, McLaren Senna is one that is very technology oriented. It looks good.
Some people think it doesn't look Some people think it doesn't look good.
But the Senna is a very high technology oriented car in design. Let's say a car that's like I'm not sure to name a car that is more built for looks and less for performance. I'm not really sure.
I mean, kind of like a Jaguar E-Type is aerodynamic, and that was kind of its purpose.
So that one is performance-oriented a bit too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but basically, so we have technology, which is the first category. You have art, which is the second category, in that it looks good. Now, you say your average supercar, your McLaren 570, which is a more car. It looks a bit more like normal compared to the Senna. That's more art, but it's a bit of tech, in that McLaren design. And then the last category is nonsense, which just goes to stupid looking cars like a
Type R.
Yeah,
Civic Type R.
Yeah, there's a bit of nonsense in there, but even then it's not necessarily a horrible looking car.
No, I don't. I mean, I think that the Apollo IE. Anyway, back to the Apollo IE. The reason why I nominated this car, why I think this car looks really good, I think it's an artwork personally. The car is fast. I've seen the car. It's just awesome. It's supposed to be inspired by the CLK GTR. It looks.
Not even like the CLK GTR.
Worlds better than the CLK GTR. It's just a kind of a weird looking car, to be honest. I don't know how much I actually like its styling, but it's iconic and it's fast and it's legendary and it's very cool. I would love a CLK GTR, but the Apollo IE anyway, which is very similar to it, still got that. It's got those awesome gearbox whining noises and everything. It's so cool. But the styling, I think, is a car that will be timeless styling. I know people say timeless styling is the Jaguar E-Type and all the cars that have rounded lines and everything, but this is just so interesting. And I know people will pay. I don't know how much some billionaires or something might pay for a rare painting, but like a Mona Lisa or something like that. But for me, I think it's going to cost you less. I would rather have an Apollo IE. I think that's a work of art you can actually drive. No one like a work of art just goes on your wall normally. Why can't it be actual driving work of art? I think that's.
Yeah, you can't take what's that painting called? You can't take I can't remember the name of the painting. I'm just trying to pick a the name of a painting out of midair.
Starry Night.
You can't take Starry Night out to the out to the track day, can you?
I don't know. Alright, next.
Yeah, maybe you can't take it out to the track. No.
Okay,
I don't
now
think you can take it out to the track day.
How about a car nomination from you?
Yeah, okay,
No.
another one for me. This next time, a lot of people are gonna. This is gonna be sort of controversial, I think. The Honda Civic Type R. Could you mention it earlier? It's one of my very favorite cars of all time. It's like a little baby DTM car.
Yeah, it's cute. Not cute.
It's not necessarily
It's
cute.
not cute. It looks like it wants to eat you, and that's kind of a party car, a fast performance car. I mean, I think personally, opinions are really split in the Type R. Some people say it looks really good. I don't. I think he's the only one who says it looks really good. I like its looks. I don't know what I like looks of compared to the Veloster N, the AMG A45, the Renault Clio RS, or maybe the Megane RS I'm talking about. But anyway, compared to these utter hot hatchbacks, and it's the most extreme looking by far. You're not gonna find one that looks less extreme. The car drives well, but that's not really the topic of today's video. I do like its styling personally. I don't like the fake intakes and everything.
That's my
I
least
prefer
favorite
if
part
they
too.
were
I
real
know
intakes.
those intakes that Honda puts on there, and it looks kind of.
But if you could,
Sometimes.
but I've seen people who kind of redesigned in their own way. They've simplified the design. I think I like the wing and stuff. I like the lights. I think that it could have been helped by more simplification. Just made it look better in the back than in the front.
Yeah, my least favorite part is probably those fake vents in the front.
Yeah, I don't
rear.
really know why I put that.
That's kind of weird. I think it's on the standard Civic too. Somehow,
Yeah.
anyway. Okay, next car.
Okay, so before we get going, this is not. I mean, a new car. I mean, a year after we filmed this video, a new car may come out that we think is better. So who knows? Maybe we'll update this list every year.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about another car. There's so many hypercars and stuff in this category that it's really hard to pick the ones that really deserve it. But I should have said this earlier. Pagani Zonda.
Oh yeah.
Pagani Zonda and the Pagani Huayra. Any Pagani looks really good.
Yeah. Just the level of detail goes into the interior and exterior of those things.
Yeah, I mean, the interior is a work of art. The shifter. I mean, it's not actually a proper manual transmission, which some people won't like.
At least on the
But-
Huayra.
At least in the Huayra. I think the Zonda you can get manual, but the Huayra's shifter is just the most awesome looking thing for for a manual that doesn't even really is not even really real. It's just the most awesome looking.
Yeah, the Pagani Huayra BC Coupe is one of my it's the second favorite. That's on my list of very favorite cars ever. It's the second car on that list. The first car we'll get to later, but this Huayra BC, dark blue with black accents, definitely my second favorite car ever in looks terms.
Yeah. I think the Zonda, I like it a little better. I mean, the Zonda and the Huayra do have a little bit of weird to them.
Yeah.
They are like, I mean there are a few things I don't like about some of the cars. The quad. I mean, the one thing I love is the quad exhaust. I love the headlights. I love the wings, and I love the gull-wing doors on some of them. I don't know if Paganis have butterfly doors. I love the Zonda HP Barchetta. I think you've seen that one with those interesting fenders in the back, almost reminding me of some prototype racer. It's got the floating roof scoop that goes behind the cabin. Those are all amazing details of Pagani. I think that one thing I don't like is
The rearview mirrors.
the review mirrors on a Huayra. The Huayra is a good-looking car. I'm just not a fan of the review mirrors.
Yeah, I'm not, it's a difficult
they
car to
go
make
kinda
rearview
out
mirrors
like
for
that.
because you do Lamborghini ones which are all pointy and that doesn't look right. I'm not entirely sure you
could do round ones. Those wouldn't look aggressive enough, and those not that the Huayra's ones look aggressive.
Well, at least you're not going to mistake them for anything else. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're not going to. I mean, I think it's a.
You just don't want to knock it off. It looks like the like if you somebody happens to walk by the Huayra and because it looks like the.
I know. I've seen a Huayra in real life once before now. I mean, I saw one at the Los Angeles Auto Show. Maybe just a picture of that on the screen, which was really cool. I mean, that was a amazing car.
Yeah, but it
was
looks
my
like
favorite spec.
what do you call it? What you call it? What's the word? The stock on which the mirror sits. It looks very thin. So if you're just walking by, you go, oof. Looks like it could be knocked off very easily. It's carbon fiber.
How do you nominate the car now?
Okay, so nominate I just said this Huayra BC is my second favorite looking car of all time. The third on my list, my very long list of favorite looking cars, would be the McLaren P1 because it just looks so sleek. The way it just kind of goes like, it's just like this. It comes up and it comes around the first fender, it just goes kind of down a little bit and it goes, and it just comes kind of floating. It just looks so awesome, and especially where the rear wing is just like that. Looks like a canoe almost, you know, and it just kind of sits in there when it's down, and it's just like this massive cavity back there, and it just looks so swoopy, I guess the word is.
It's funny because I see the P1, and I think one guy I've heard people say, I think the P1 for a 7-year-old car, whatever it is, looks so good. I think it could be released 10 or 20 years into the future, and it would still be one of the best looking cars out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think personally, we'll talk about that maybe at the end, but I don't think car styling is getting better. but in a lot of ways. But I think because the P1 has this beautiful lines, because if you look compare it to other Holy Trinity cars, those three hybrid supercars that came out at the same time, which I was very familiar with actually. I remember we have the Lego sets with the little Speed Champions ones.
Somewhere up there.
Somewhere. they're not built right now. But anyway, 19th Spider, that was all about power and everything. I mean,
did
not talking about even performance. It looked good. It looked like a Porsche. It reminded me a lot of the Carrera GT, and I love this exhaust that came out the top of it. I don't think it looked quite as good as the LaFerrari, and the LaFerrari looked like proper Ferrari. I don't know. I love the way the F40 looks, but I think other than the F40 and 812, I think it's the best looking Ferrari. Maybe it is the best looking Ferrari, but the McLaren is just so much better. I think it was designed by Frank Stevenson, right?
Yeah, I'll link to his video down below. He had a video on how he designed it. Quite amazing
stuff.
stuff.
A YouTube channel, and it's a crazy car. I think the P1 just topped everything. I still don't think I've seen a McLaren that looks really better than P1, but we'll talk a little more about that later. My next car I'm nominating, but I think the P1, especially considering how old it is now, is just gorgeous. Its lines, everything about it is gorgeous.
So you go ahead and do your next car.
This car would be a car I'm not going to say is fast, and I'm not even going to say I would actually really own one for its current value because it's just worth so much. A Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. I know this is always on people's lists, but it's on mine too. It looks really gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things like the Gullwing doors. You look at some that have a red interior. I think the shifter sticks out the dashboard, which is one of those weird,
like that, yeah.
weird kind of things.
It comes right from under it.
Everything about it is just so cool. I mean, it does 0 to 16 in like 10 seconds, so it's a slow car actually.
Compared to
very
today's standards,
slow.
anyway.
You consider the standards of like the AMG GT Black Series, that's 0 to 16 like less than 3 seconds. So
back in the day, though, I assume it was.
Yeah, it had quite a high top speed too, and they're obviously modified kind of versions like the Sterling Moss's SLR 722. That thing was a car is worth inexplicable amounts of money right now, but yeah, I think the Gullwing, they didn't build many. This thing is just so cool. I just don't think that you can really. I mean, I've seen Mercedes SLS. I love the SLS, especially the Black Series. I love its engine and everything. And I wish the Gullwing's a little faster, maybe a little less dangerous, kind of like that. But
yeah.
The Gullwing is probably the best looking car of the 50s. One of the best looking cars of the 50s.
Yeah.
What about you?
The next car I'd put on my list. What do you think here? I think I'm getting my list in my head, consulting my list. What should I
have so many on the list.
Let's see here. Next one I'm gonna have to go to the Nissan Skyline GTR R34.
Yeah, I'd say the R34 looks really cool.
One thing, it's not the. I'd say technically the R35 modern one you see on the road quite often around here looks prettier. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the R34 looks more brutal, more like a race car. I mean, the R35 looks plenty brutal too, but the R34, it's just the four circle taillights like they are on the R35 also. But the just the thing about the R34's design, the way the headlights, it looks aggressive without looking like
too aggressive,
like savagely aggressive. You know, it just looks aggressive. It's just a very nice looking car.
Yeah, and I mean I'm a GTR guy. I think they're really cool. I do like the R34 better than the R35, which I might not always agree on. Like I'm saying, I think a lot of cars do get better as they get older. I mean, I like the way the R8 has progressed. I like the way the Huracan has progressed. I like the way the Aventador has progressed. A lot of modern fast cars. The GTR, I like the way it looks. I think it looks good for the modern era. You couldn't release the R34 now.
Mm-hmm.
It would still look really modern or good. But for its time, especially, it looked very good. I like the headlights. I love the front end. The front end is what really makes the car.
Yeah.
I think that they nailed it on that one.
Yeah. And get another car.
I mean, there's so many on my list, but I mean, I don't know whether we'll get to them in this video. We're already at the 13-minute mark or whatever. But now it's time. I'd say, I mean, just there's so many on the list, but just nominate another one. The 1950s Cadillac convertible.
Oh yeah, the Eldorado.
The Eldorado, yeah.
Yeah, that thing is crazy.
Just famous, and it's huge. It's bigger, longer than AMG 6x6.
Or as long, or a
As
bit
long.
shorter. I think it's around right around there.
It's huge. It's huge. It'd be hard. It's hard to drive. It's actually quite slow, but it was a pretty cool car back in the day. Especially
Pretty
the
cool car today,
pink
too.
one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely say it's one of the best looking cars. I'm not in terms of it's more of an icon than it is a really perfect styling.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
What else?
The next car for my list would be the McLaren F1, but not the standard F1. My favorite one is the GTR. So not the long tail, and not the standard F1, but the GTR version in particular. So it's wider fenders. It's got the completely like slammed to the ground front splitter. It's got a big wing on the back. It's basically the race version, the one kind that won Le Mans. and that, in my opinion, is one of the
Best looking.
biggest cars because it has this look to it. If you look at it head on from the front, it's just got those two. In this respect, it's similar to the Dodge Challenger, and probably the only way that it's similar. If you look head on, you have those two circular headlights, and it just looks. And it's just got that sort of those three rectangular intakes in the front, and the whole thing just kind of goes this up slope thing, and there's that roof scoop up there, and you can see the massive wing behind it, and it just looks so like savagely aggressive. It's crazy. I think it's definitely one of my favorite looking cars.
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen the McLaren F1's design. I just really haven't looked. I never really liked the way it looked until I never really liked the way it looked until just like I think a few days ago, maybe since yesterday, where I watched a video of the McLaren F1. It was one of the I think it was the GTR. It was a road legalized version. It is so cool. It's just. I think that I know Gordon Murray's thing was like he didn't want to be too extreme looks or whatever. I like how it looks extreme. I think that's the I think the McLaren F1 GTR. I just don't really like the normal F1 styling as much, but I think it's an excellent car.
They technically didn't style it anymore. They unstyled it a bit, and it looks better. Which is it's no offense to Gordon Murray, but
he's a great designer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Okay, another car. I have two more cars, so you can go ahead.
There's plenty more on my list. But I
have more than two cars on my list, but I have two more that I have stored ready.
I think it would be the Aston Martin Vulcan.
Oh yeah,
the Vulcan. I think because you look at front engine cars. One thing I find interesting about it is the Vulcan is a track car. You can't drive it on the road. But if Aston Martin made a road version, that would have been really really cool. There's one that's been road legalized apparently in England somewhere, and that thing is really cool. But anyway, so this car, I love the looks of the car. I think it's got this amazing, it's got that front hood is just so long. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like reminds you of some of those older cars. Like even compared to something like Ferrari 812 or an AMG GT, its engine is really out there far. It's a big engine, big V12, naturally aspirated. It sounds amazing, and it's just such a cool car. And it's worth millions of dollars and everything. But and the back end's got the big diffuser, an amazing taillight, some of the best taillights that I can think of in a car. And it's got the big wing. A version of something I just thought of. A version of Aston Martin put this into production. A rare one without a diffuser, without a wing, or a luxury interior inside.
A GT, that's what the Victor was technically.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Aston Martin Victor was. The Aston Martin Victor is another cool car I would also put there. That thing's also gorgeous. 836 horsepower, I think it was. Manual V12 Aston Martin. It's a really cool car. I wish they would make it as more production, but it's just a one-off.
Okay, next car. Now I don't mean to fill up this list with hypercars, but it looks like we're filling up this list with hypercars anyway, because there's a lot of really good looking hypercars out there. Next one would be the McLaren Senna GTR. Now I know anybody who didn't like the Senna
was mad. Senna GTR.
Is that anybody who didn't like the Senna's looks will probably stop watching this video right now, maybe, because
don't though.
Please don't, because let me explain. The Senna GTR, I like the McLaren Senna's looks. I think it looks really awesome and aggressive. I don't really like the launch spec, the gray with the orange accents and the
personally, I don't think it was just kind of not. It just doesn't look that.
Yeah, you need I think a darker color.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, great. That gray is pretty dark. There's certain things. I don't think the silver wheels look so great, but the Senna GTR, in my opinion, is one of my favorites. Like I'm not trying to put McLarens. I already know you got the P1, the F1, now the Senna, but it is just a really great looking car. The what do you call it? I love the massive wing with like the side bits that come down the sides. It's got that the front just extends so far forward. It's got like these sort of like fins on the front, right beside the lights.
Yeah, no. Lego's gonna make a Lego set out. I don't think it completely perfectly captures it, but it's just interesting to talk about. It's somewhat like the Type R, except all stuff's for performance. The Type R is a little bit exaggerated, but of course. Japan loves to make the cars like that. It looks like the Type R looks like, to go back to Type R quickly, it looks like a tuner car. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I think it.
It's like Honda put like a Liberty Walk kit on it already,
Yeah. I have so many more cars on my list, but we're getting close to 20 minutes in this video, so I have like my greatest car, but let me nominate one more before that, and I would have to say. Another one I want to put in the list is the Lamborghini Diablo GTR and the Maserati MC12. Those are, and the Ferrari 6K if you want to include it, because those are tree cars. We can talk about them. They're tree extreme track focused cars, and they're gonna be pretty cool to see. What do you? I mean, just to talk about one after another. There's the Lamborghini Diablo GTR. It's funny because the modern Diablo actually has 300ZX headlights. And it's on 300ZX, which is pretty normal.
So the Diablo GTR had them too.
I guess so, yeah. because Lamborghini just used those. It's not. It's not. I actually think the way Lamborghini Diablo looks with those headlights is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it looks better than the older Diablos, but it's got the big wing. It's got those proper race spec wheels. It's a manual transmission. It's a crazy Lambo. It's got naturally aspirated V12. Everything you probably want. And I think the Diablo's looks do look pretty good. A Murcielago was a change from for Lambo because we had the Miura, which I actually have never liked the looks of the Miura. I'm one of those very few people who doesn't, but the Miura had this kind of like, I think it was just kind of all over the place, the styling. And the designer Balboni, I think it was, he's made a lot of other great
I
cars.
believe he is the test driver. I think you got a big step there.
No, Bertone.
Mm-hmm.
Bertone, I think it was. Has made a lot of other really good cars. And I'm not insulting him when I say it, but I'm not a big fan of the Miura. I think I think it could have looked different. After that, we had the Countach, which was just all over the place nuts. I think Pagani was one of the designers of the later Countachs. We had the Diablo, which was like
more nuts, but less nuts.
Less nuts, but it was still nuts in the way it performed. It was nutty in the way it performed, less nutty in the way it looked. We had the Murcielago, which was this big shift in Lambo styling.
Trying to tell how long we've been going for it.
21 minutes. But we had this big. Then there's this big shift in the way Lambos look.
Yeah.
And I actually liked the big shift, but the Diablo was the last car, I think the last Lambo we'll ever see with that kind of styling on it.
Yeah.
Like even the older ones had pop-up headlights, and the GTR is the best looking of the Diablos.
Yeah.
I mean, then there's the MC12, which is also designed by Frank Stevenson, the guy who designed the P1. We'll leave his video to how he designed the MC12. I love the road version of MC12, but I'm more partial to the Corsa version, so the
GT1.
track version, the GT1. Those things are awesome. They look amazing. I mean, I'll just put some pictures on the screen of it. I mean, it's just such a cool car. The mid-engine supercar. It didn't have rear visibility at all. It had, but it was just such a cool car. I definitely think this is one of the cooler track tours. And just talk about one more car for the FXXK, the LaFerrari track-only version. Those things are awesome too. I think those things look amazing. What about you?
So I can say two more cars. Like the car is the Miura, which we already talked about. I think I really like the design of it better than E-Type. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think we should release a video because the Miura is the one car we kind of disagree on that we haven't disagreed on so far. We should release a separate video or something where we can both go over the design of the Miura and we can say what we like. You can say what I like, why you like it. You can say why I don't really like it.
You can say why you don't really like it. I won't say why you don't. Never mind.
Anyway, yeah, about your opinion on the Miura.
So the Miura, I think the Miura is just one of those nice classic cars, especially the bright yellow and the gold color ones. Mm-hmm. I think I really like the wheels in particular on the Miura. The
wheels are cool.
I mean, the rear engine cover doesn't look so great. It just looks like a very large amount of a little. I'm not sure if they're louvers. I can't remember the exact design of the Miura at the moment. But the front end especially, I like the grills and all that. I think it's a pretty cool car. It's a very low car. It's like 42 inches tall or something like that.
Yeah, I know. That thing is like just like this. It's so low to the ground. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I just don't really like the headlights stuff. I think
it's like
you're gonna talk
pop-up headlights. They go like this.
Retro
kind of
cars
like,
that look cool. A Porsche 911 930 Turbo.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
Oh yeah, we should maybe. I think you would nominate 930
Yeah, I
Turbo.
would.
That's one we can completely agree on. The 930 Turbo, the GT500, the Cobra, and
the 250 California.
Yeah, those things are all beautiful, gorgeous cars. I mean, we could spend hours more talking about them.
Maybe we'll have part 2 or something to that.
But we'll hopefully have a part 2 of this video.
Yeah, in fact, I think we'll have part 2. Yeah, so we'll.
I mean, the California Spider is a beautiful car. Like we we're just saying, the GT500 is that big, muscly thing. It just looks. I mean, all the cars nailed their styling. The Turbo was a bit of both.
I mean, back in the 60s, 70s.
Back in the 60s and 70s, those cars nailed their styling. I think really. I like the way the 911 looks and stuff. But I think now we have to go to our greatest of all time looks. And for me, and you nominate yours first.
So that greatest of all time would be the car that's on the calendar right over there. We'll show a picture of that. And that is the Lamborghini Centenario Roadster in particular. I think it just looks so aggressive and so crazy. Yeah, look at it's on the calendar right over there. Like I said, we'll show a picture of it. But I think it's just an awesome looking car. I like the Aventador a lot. This thing just looks crazier than the Aventador.
The wheels look like a blade from some kind of kitchen gadget.
Yeah, it just looks insane and phenomenal.
Crazy. I think it might be based on Aventador, and it's like millions of dollars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I can agree with you. Centenario is really good. I wouldn't say it's the greatest of all time, but I think it's an amazing looking car. For me, my best looking car of all time would be the 1960s Ferrari 250 GTO, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
shouldn't really come as a surprise to a lot of people. A lot of people love car enthusiasts love the 250 GTO, and I should make a video going over its design. Dude, won't go video going over our favorite car design. In fact, I'd like to continue this conversation in a separate video. But for now, my greatest car, until something else better comes out. I mean, there are a lot more, but for now is a 250 GTO, and that car is really cool. I mean, regardless, take away driving experience and everything, its looks are amazing, and
Yeah.
I think it's got like those tree little kind of scoop things. Almost reminds me of the tree lights on the Raptor.
that's a very interesting comparison.
Yeah, it's got those like gorgeous wire spoke wheels that are kind of interesting. It's got the exhaust in the old Ferraris. Where it's got like four of them sticking out like that on the back, kind of sticking out pretty far. I'm not a big fan of the back end of the 250 GTO. I like the ducktail. Personally, I think the back end is a little devoid of anything.
Mm-hmm. Not devoid of anything.
I mean, the back end is a Type Ardo. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I think the sides of 250 GTO look really good. I think just the way this whole design flows. I think it's a combination almost, if you want to put it one way, it's between a Mustang and I'm trying to think of a lightweight sports car. Like it's almost between a Mustang and a Lotus. Because it's got some parts of styling that make it look a little more muscly, a little tough, but it's also really light. And some of the other parts of the styling make it look
like an E-Type.
Like an E-Type kind of, like a little, and it's small too. That's another thing that helps its styling. I think it's the best looking car of all time in my opinion. I would definitely love to get one myself. And obviously other people think it is too because it's worth the most expensive one sold for $70 million. When you're paying nearly $100 million for a car, I'd like to look up. Maybe we can look up quickly and bring it up on the screen. Has any piece of artwork sold for more than $50 million, $70 million? What these things are worth? I'd like to know that. But
Yeah. So basically, what I was saying is that we're not car experts in styling. We have not studied this extensively, but I
don't think you have to be a designer.
No, I'm just
Personally,
saying.
I mean, I read one book.
I thought I'd give a disclaimer to the viewers that we're not like some.
We're not car designers.
You
know, I'd say we don't have any right to tell you about this, but if
Yeah.
you're clicking on this video and you're enjoying this video, by the way, make sure to give it a like.
Yeah, but what I was saying is that basically we're not like. Well, I assume we've seen so many
We know
cars.
a lot of
I figure we're qualified to talk about this. I mean, I'd say even if you hadn't seen any cars, you were qualified to talk about this because
Yeah.
this is just our opinion, really.
But I think that you don't. Like, for example, I think some designers. I disagree with their opinions anyway, even though they're really good car design. That car designer Adrian Newey designed a lot of F1 cars, and the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is another car we put on the list. Put the Valkyrie on the list. That thing looks awesome. I would say he said the F40 looks hideous, and I would like to make a video arguing with him about that. But he's a really good designer. I consider him an excellent designer. He's designed I think his F1 cars won more championships than any other, or more races or something like that than any other. So his cars are still hold records and stuff, even with Lewis Hamilton, which is surprising. But anyway, yeah. So some designers and stuff, people who are apparently qualified to talk about this, aren't really. I disagree with them often. And most people say 1960s sports cars and stuff are like that, but who knows? When we talk to when we were in our 60s or whatever, we talk to our grandkids, will we be saying, oh yeah, those sports cars from back then, they were so beautiful.
Yeah.
The Lamborghini, the SVJ too. I mean, we have so many more cars to talk about. We have to make another video like this, but we're approaching the half-hour mark on our video, so we're just gonna wrap it up by saying we hope you enjoyed this video.
Subscribe for
more videos just like this.
Interrupt you.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna make more videos just like this. We discuss our favorite cars, and opinions on cars, opinions on new cars, opinions on old cars. We're gonna talk about lots of stuff here, all cars related though, and we will see you next week.
Before we go, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there. Before we go, next time we're gonna talk about our next videos we're gonna have that are coming out real soon. Our top whatever ugliest cars ever.
Yeah, we're gonna pick.
And we have part 2. And we're gonna talk about my what do you call it? Like my rating car design rating system.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the
We're gonna rate the
features
cars in this
of
video
our
and the
cars.
ones in the next video. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.